Hello, hello. I think I'm going to keep that music off for now. Welcome, welcome. I might even keep my sound off for a moment. Hi, everybody. Alright, I'm coming on a little late today. But that's okay. I hope that's okay with you. Let's see. Let me check my cameras real quick and see what we got going on. We got camera 1. We got camera 2. Which I need to put more. Let's get my oil there. My turpentine there. Open them up. And camera 3 needs to be slightly adjusted. There we go. All right. So, we're going to start the glass today. Let's get that glass ready to go. And let's just take a peek real quick. See where we're at. Oh, that needs to go a little dimmer. That's a little too bright. It's going to mess me up if that's that bright. That's better. Good. Alrighty. Again, we're gonna do this in layers. So we've got our wash layer on the glass right now, and I'm going to put an oil layer on it now, a regular oil layer, but it's gonna have to be built up because I've got a lot of reflections going on there. So inside and outside, from around the back, from around the front. So as I look at it, I see a number of reflections going on. Let me get my little bug up in the corner. I don't know why they call it a bug, but that's what they call it. And let's get our palette ready. I cleaned off my palette. So, some things I know I need. I need black and white. So I'm not putting my full palette out this time. I'm putting out the colors that I've been using. That way, I don't waste paint. If I end up needing more paint, that one's a little tight. That one's really tight. This is my white. Sometimes they get tight. I've got, I don't have them here down. I don't see them. Oh, I see them over there. I've got my, I've got a little set of pliers that I like to use when things are tight, except these ones are much, you can see the difference in the caps there. So my pliers won't fit around this big cap as well. I'll try not to put it on as tight. Get some yellow ochre. My finger, that's okay. I'm going to put the yellow ochre, I'll put it down here the other side. Those are my three big ones. What else did I use? I used cadmium red. This actually says cadmium scarlet on it. I remember it as cadmium red. And then cadmium yellow. You can see this is an older bottle here, older tube. So those are like my the liquor colors, right? Put that back. What else? Black, white, cadmium red. If I need blue, I'll pull it out, but I'm not going to pull it out yet. Green. Do I see any green in there? I don't think so. I don't see any green in there. I'm going to pull out a little bit of burnt sienna. That might be it. Wait, that one's tight. Let me get my pliers. So they actually sell like an opener, but these are pretty good pliers for that. They just close nicely around there. I don't want to hold it too tight because I don't want to kill the. I don't want to destroy that plastic. For the most part, it's a lot of gray. So I've got my black and white there. So let's first start off. Let me mix the dark gray of the background, because that's where most of my color is going to be coming from. So let's get some black. I'm going to put this. No, put it over here. Oh, yeah, I'll put it over here. It doesn't matter where you put your paint. And that might be too much white, but let's find out. Mix away. So this is going to be interesting because, well, I don't have to match the paint exactly. I need to come pretty close. And if I see I've got at least one person hanging out with me, so welcome. So this is, I'm using my palette knife to mix with, usually when I'm mixing larger amounts of paint. Do that, and then I'll just kind of compare. Actually, that needs to go a little darker. So let's go back, get some more black, quite a bit of black. Now, if this doesn't turn out where I want it to, I'll kind of take a bit of this and I'll mix over to the side, and I'll have a couple different spots that I'm mixing with. This looks like a better tone. Let's see. Now that's a pure gray. It's just black and white right now. And I have a hard time painting with just black and white, because what that says is, yeah, that actually needs to be a little darker, I think. So I'm going to take just a little bit over here, and I'm going to mix something even darker. I never mix with pure black. I almost never paint with pure black. If I'm painting with pure black, it means I can't see any color in it at all. And that's just an unusual thing to have happen. It's pretty dark, right? But it's not pure black. All right, let's look at that again. That's much better. Yeah. All right, now the other thing, I'm just going to spend a second looking at this color here, because, and I'm looking through the glass at the color that's kind of behind it. So really what I'm looking at is kind of this color here, and hold that up. That's pretty close to that color there, right? So I kind of want it to match up a little bit, but I also want to look at the what else is going on in this picture. Does the glass itself create a bit of a color, or so I'll take my hand, I'll make a little hole with my hand, and I'll isolate the colors that I'm looking at. I think I'm going to leave it just like that, which is unusual. I don't do that often. Let's just roll that up a little bit. So we're going to start with those guys right there. Let me clean that palette knife off. That's probably the only time I'm going to use the palette knife for this. All the other colors are either using a variation of that or a very small amount of paint. I'm actually going to retire this one for a little bit. I've got one hanging up top here. And I'm going to switch these. So that this one, it's got paint on it, but it's been dried for a while, so it won't bother me so much. I always get worried about paint, rubbing up against something. All right, let's get our brushes out. So if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, oh, I didn't get my brushes. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Right. So, I always wash my brushes afterwards, so they're always sitting by the sink usually. So let's, thinking I want this brush here. It's around number 5. Just debating on my flat, which is nice in there. I'll probably end up using both of them. I'll start with my round 5 and see what happens. Oops. All right, so as always, since just wipe it off and then dip it in the oil. We're not painting with turpentine, we're painting with oil. And then we go, actually I'm going to get a little more oil on there because I want to loosen this paint up a little bit. All right, let's get started. I might zoom in a little bit for you. That looks blurry though. Doesn't that look blurry? That looks really blurry to me. Let me zoom in. There we go. That's better. And I'm going to zoom in even more actually, so you can see that what I'm working on a little bit better. And I'll fix the camera. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can go that big. Yep, I can go that big. So let's move this up a little bit. That's good. And let's move the camera over a little bit. So that's where we're focusing. Right there. That's where I want it. All right. I already got paint on my hands. Doesn't take much, so I gotta be careful what I touch now. All right. So, gotta remember that shaker, I can see it slightly through that side of the glass. So I'm going to have to be a little careful. I'm going to start painting right here. I'm going to go around. Now you might say, well, why didn't you just paint that to begin with? If I didn't do an underpainting, you'd be seeing my strokes. You got to do the underpainting. You got to do the wash. Hard to see the tip of my brush with this color. Take your time. Get the lines right. Hey, Olga. That's okay. Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling so good. Thank you so much, and I really hope you feel better. God, life is tough. Oops. Life is tough. Well, you stay as long as you feel like. You know, you don't even. You can just hang out, and I really appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. Hope you feel better soon. Hi. Get better, okay? All right, I'm going to continue that. Let me just take a look through this area, because remember that goes right down through here, and I can barely see it. I'm just gonna paint it from this one, over here. I'm gonna paint all of these the same for now. I'll be putting layers on top of that afterwards, but those are all gonna be the same for now. Take your time, get your lines straight. So when I'm done with this section, it'll look good. Then you're gonna see the next layer is really gonna look good. I'm just following the lines that I did earlier in the wash. I don't think, oh, be careful, straight lines. I don't think it's that important to be too precise yet with this glass. A little bump there. I'd like to fix it, but I don't really want to mess with it. But I'm going to mess with it because it'll make me happier. I'm going to mess with it actually a little differently. I'm going to do it with turpentine. So I'm going to take a little turpentine on a clean brush, and I'm going to try to wipe that back a little bit. See? Just like that. And try to clean that. Go back to my other brush. I keep pausing because I keep looking back at my work here. When I'm painting, I want to make sure I'm doing it. You know, part of me says, don't worry about it too much, just follow your lines. Part of me says, don't be that stupid. Look at your subject. So, I guess the lesson is, do what makes you feel good. I think it's going to be a quiet day today, since I came on late. That's all right. I'll focus on the work. This paintbrush is kind of annoying me. It's not making a great point. And my eyes, not the best eyes in the world anymore. That's okay. Figure it out. So I'm going to paint this. It gets a little light over here, so I will put that in a little bit. But same color going across the top. Straight lines are tough. Some people manage that through just painting more of a something more painterly. I prefer just to take my time and try to do it as best I can. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm also seeing I don't want to move on to another color till I'm ready to. All right, that one goes in pretty much just like I did it. But this one, I can see. I'm gonna get my smaller brush out here, my 0. Get a little oil on it and get some paint on it. So I see this goes over the top of this just a little bit. That's the reflection in the back. Pretty good. Let's see where I'm going here. Before I switch colors, I want to make sure that I've utilized this color everywhere that I'm going to. I'm going to hit a couple of small spots just because I'm seeing them. And that's going to be here. Paint on there. More on here. And on this side as well. And just a little bit in these other areas here. Now, no one's, once I'm done with this, nobody's going to come back here and say, "Oh, you didn't get that reflection just right." I spend too much time on every little piece that I see. I'll spend a year on this painting, and I don't want to do that. Alright, that looks good there. I'm going to put a little bit in a couple of other spots. Over here. Yeah, I'm going to do that section a little bit later, I think. Yeah. Yep. All right. This is really dark down here, but I don't think it's quite as dark as here. There's a couple of spots, but I'll get those in later on. I'm not going to be able to do all that much today given the complexity of some of these things. So I'm just going to focus on this area, this little area here, and maybe in there. And that's probably as far as I'll get. All right, so I'm going to go with the lighter color that I've got here. With some oil, of course. Loosen that up a little bit. Makes it easier to paint. Can't even see the difference of that. It's still not quite enough. Let's see how far. So I don't want to paint that and then end up this being the same color here because it's lighter. Let me add a little white to that. Oh, of course I didn't change my camera. Sorry. I'll change it back in a second. Yeah, that might be more than what I'm looking at. Oil. That color's fine, I think. Just needs to be a little more wet. A little more wet. And then we'll take this tiny little blending brush and kind of blend that out a little bit. That looks okay. All right, same thing over here. I'm thinking same color, but it's in a couple of different spots there, so I'm going to have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Yeah. All right, let me just get the same color. So I'm going to paint this. I'll go all the way down. And then over here. There's right behind, is that right? This has moved a little bit, so let me see. That's actually right there. That's, I guess, right. It might be a little thick. And I can see there's one right in between there. Boy, think that one's too thick. I think that's the problem. I'll try to thin it up a little bit. I love little brushes, but they don't hold enough paint. I'm just going right around it to thin that up just a little bit, and I'll deal with the color later. I just want to know that it's thinner than I painted it originally. That's better. All right. Let's go back in with our little blender. Blend that out. That's fine for now. All right. All those spaces that I left here, that's probably the same color that I'm painting right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. All right. I see I have someone else online, so welcome. How's your day going? I'm doing just fine. It's a beautiful Tuesday, chilly here in central Connecticut area, I guess. I guess it's central Connecticut, somewhere around there. I'm going to blend those together a little bit. That's just like the kind of hazy in there. And again, I've not gotten anywhere near the details yet. This is essentially just painting kind of a background layer. So I will get more detail, but the thing is, the details are fun. Details are not big swaths of color. So you can do quite a lot in a very short time often. The details are like the touches on the cake. The final touches, you know, frosting, stuff like that. I see a little bit of stuff here. Paint those in a little bit. All right, and that the back rim here, I think I'm going to hold off on because there's actually some different colors in here. I think I've got some reflection from the liquor. Actually getting into that. I see some reds up in there. So I'm going to hold off on that. And even the, you know, the very top of the rim is more orangey going all the way around the top. So I'm going to hold off on those colors. All right, let me blend that out real quick. It's just kind of wispy in here. And this is what I'm saying, is like, nobody's going to come back and say, you didn't get that reflection right. That reflection's inaccurate, you know. It's not like painting a portrait where you either recognize the person or you don't. This one's not too hard. It's a little harder over there. Yeah, that's good. All right. Let's take a moment. Hey, Diablo girl, nice to see you. It's been a quiet morning. I only had one friend show up earlier, and they weren't able to hang around because they're not feeling so good. But I'm not going to be here too much longer today. Let's see, what do I want to do here? So I'm looking at this spot right in here. Now the issue that I've got in my head anyways is that I can see the reflection through the glass right there. So how much of that detail do I don't think I want to get into any of that detail. All I want to do is paint this background tone. That's probably the color I've got in my brush, and gets darker as it goes over to the right with that slight line from the shaker going down. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, I'm going to start with the small brush first, just so I can get into that corner. Yeah, I hope she's feeling better too. I know she's, you know, I can't imagine what she's going through. I'm not going to pretend to imagine it. It's, life can be hard. It was very nice of her to come and say hi though. It's very sweet of her. I'm keeping my head in my hand, out of the way so you can see what's going on. So just a little blip here that I want to bring down. You want to be careful not to create ridges with your paint. I think that's what I was running into, so I couldn't get over it. There was a tiny little ridge there that was pushing my brush away, and when you create ridges, your brush tends to follow those ridges, so it can be a little tricky sometimes. All right, I'm going to switch to my larger brush here. That has some paint on it, but well, yeah, I'm going to clean it off. Even though I'm getting darker, I don't want to get that dark yet. Yeah, thanks. It's getting there, you know, little by little every day, and that's really the trick of it, I guess, is you know, paintings don't happen by themselves. You gotta just take your time and by little, before you know it, you've got a painting. While I've been talking here, I've been saying about, this is we're getting close to detail work here. Every once in a while I'll put in a spot that's a little more detailed than what I've done previously, but not quite to the actual detail yet. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the next layer, and that's when things really kind of pop and come together. Now I want to make sure that, I think I've got enough. I can get that a little darker so I can get that to work great. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's find out. So I want to get a little more black. So I'm actually going to take black and add it to this really dark one over here. I know this is getting like so close to being just pure black. But I want to be able to see it here. Hold on 1 second. Let's see here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let me put this down for a second. I'm going to grab a blending brush. Get that off a little bit. And we're going to blend that out. Alright, I think that looks pretty darn good. Yeah, patience is absolutely the trick of this, right? You can't get it all done in a day. Nobody's gonna do work like this and it's gonna be just done. It just takes time. That's all. So I'm not worried about it getting done. There's no one waiting for it. This is me just painting for fun. So that's all that matters, I suppose. So let's look for a second. I think I'm going to stop there. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there. I kind of want to keep going on, but I'm not there. I'm as of right now, kind of. I'm off for until January, so I'm going to be painting quite a bit Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, hopefully, and you're going to see a lot of work happening, hopefully. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to have you around. Let's see what they added. Paladins to Diablo 4. Oh, you're stuck in Diablo 4 land. Maybe I'll check that out too later on. All right, I'm going to get going. I hope you have a great day, and thanks. Happy painting. Bye.